So here we have an interesting problem with this project. We have no nut on this guitar neck. Now this isn't necessarily a big problem because we actually want to have a locking nut put on there. So this actually helps us a little bit. Now normally when we're looking at the nut area of a guitar neck, we usually have a slot cut and we fit the nut into the slot, and then there's a little tag piece on the end. It seems that on this guitar neck it's all been cut off and removed. So for our project we have our neck, and this area here where the nut was supposed to be has been cleared out of any residual woods. Now because of this, the height of our nut and our string guides is going to be too low. So when I set this in, those string guides are going to be lower than these frets, and when I took some measurements I found that they were quite a bit lower. So we need to build this up. Tongue depressor happens to be the right size, so when I set this on the tongue depressor you can see that it's practically the exact same size as our nut. So we're essentially going to be placing this piece here and then putting our locking nut on top of it. Now we're going to fill in this little gap that you'll see on the end here, right in this little crevice. I'll see if I can get this so that you can see it. Set that up there. It's kind of difficult to see, but there's just a little bit of a wedge where there's no material. We're going to fill that in with some wood putty, and when we're done it's all going to be sanded and painted or colored, so it's going to blend in fairly well. And that's how we're going to take care of it. But first we need to clean it up. We're going to start with a file, get in here and get this area all cleaned up and ready. Okay, we've got the area cleaned up. It's all set. Got most of the debris out of there as well. We'll get that completely cleaned out later. And I've taken a quick measurement of how this is going to be cut so that it fits in here. Always go a little bit over. You can always remove material, but you can't put it back as easily. So what we'll do now is we're going to cut these pieces out. So we've got these two lines that we've marked. We're going to cut along those lines, and then we're going to be able to set this in place. We're going to use some Gorilla Glue. We're going to make sure that it bonds very well, very tight, and we're going to backfill this area under here on both sides with a little bit of wood putty. And when this is done, we'll be able to come in here and sand it and smooth it out and get it nice. Alright, we've stepped out to the shop. We took our little piece of wood and we've sanded off the edges. So now we are ready to affix. Drop this on here. I'm going to use another piece of wood. I'll probably just use this paint stick. And what I'll do is I'll put this down with the glue and with some of the wood filler, and then I'll put this on top. I'll clamp it down in place and wait for it to cure. Once it's cured, then we'll be able to start fitting our locking nut to our guitar neck. So the glue has dried, and we now have our little wood table affixed to the neck, and I've gone ahead and I've put a little more wood putty in here to try and fill this out. Don't worry about how sloppy it looks when you do this, or if you do this. You'll be using files and sandpaper and whatnot to smooth this out and help finish it. So it'll look like it's a natural piece of wood when it's done. And from about here up, it's going to be, this piece is going to be painted black, so this won't be a big issue.
After all the filing and sanding is done, you should have a finished shelf that looks similar to this. Nice and clean, very smooth. I've masked off the area on this piece because I'm going to be doing a fade to black. And this is what it looks like with the paint applied, but I still don't have the clear coat on yet. Finally, I did a little staining on the shelf itself so I could color match to the fretboard. This is what it looks like, clear coated, finished, and the nut is applied. From all of us at Guitars for Youth, we thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this clip, please remember to subscribe to our channel. New tips, tricks, and how-tos will be coming in future sessions. Until then, keep building and keep having fun.